Hey everybody, welcome back to Cottonwood Hill Farms. So on the agenda today, we got some random things we're working on. Definitely winter is here. Today is January 10th, I believe, 10th or 11th, something like that. So winter has set in and it is here. But right now we got the old Green Beauty. She is in a sad state of affairs right now. She's got a flat tire, and I think the starter went out on it, the starter solenoid possibly. I've checked the batteries and they both are good on it, but I got to get this thing fixed. I hate not having this thing around. It is nice having the skid loader, obviously, but being a track machine during the winter when the cow patties and dirt clods and stuff freeze, they just beat you up in that track machine. So it's good, still good to use for certain things, but for like feeding hay and things like that, the tractor is just so much more comfortable, and it's just a lot easier on the body. But anyway, that's one of the things we got to do. And then we got to check some cows, some calves, and feed a cow and things like that. We've still got some, we're in the middle of some projects. For those of you that have been following along, we got the barn, that lean-to. We're still in the middle. I shouldn't say the middle, we're towards the end of that project, but we had 3 of our heifers and 1 of our cows all had their calves right within a couple weeks of each other, and it was they were a month earlier than we were expecting. So that kind of took a toll and kind of took our eyes off some things, and we had to pay attention to that. And so we've been slowly working through some things. The other thing is the old Massey, the 85. That's kind of been on hold just because some other more important stuff has come up. But anyway, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get started on this John Deere, and then we'll see where the day takes us. This thing is filthy. I got to get it cleaned out a little bit. Get this cleaned out, blow it out. There's a bolt down under here, and then there's one under here. I've never taken this starter off, but we used to have an old John Deere 7700 combine that had the exact same engine in it, and I remember having that starter off, and it's a real pain in the butt. It's the same engine as this. Anyway, I got to get the heifers, dry cows, I got to get them watered. So I got to get the tote, bring it over, and get it start filling it, and then I got to go water. I got a cow that we're training, a heifer. Got her tied up. I got to go give her some water, make sure she's got some hay. I got to get this skid loader started here and let it warm up here a little bit. So those of you that have been following along, obviously probably noticed that we didn't put out really any videos this last summer. I think the last video we had was back in April or May, somewhere in there, and then we didn't put out a video until just a month and a half ago or something like that. And what had happened is we had a mastitis. Well, we had a few things going on last year, but the big problem that we ran into was we had a mastitis outbreak on our farm and with our dairy herd. And this was a Staph outbreak. Now, many of you may not understand what Staph is or know what Staph is, but it's a form of mastitis, and it's arguably the worst form of mastitis that you can get in your herd. And basically, it's a staph infection, is what it is, and it's in the udder. Now, it's a local infection, so it's localized, meaning that it's in the mammary tissue inside the udder. And so what that means is cows have 4 teats, and you got A, B, C, and D. Well, teat A can be infected with staph, but B, C, and D can be fine. And so you can still drink the milk out of B, C, and D, but you can't drink the milk out of A. And so that kind of turned into a nightmare, and we ended up having 10 cows get infected with that. And we had, over the coming months, I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff and things we've learned from that situation, and we're still not done learning. We're still not completely through it, but we're making very good progress on it. if you look anything up about that, what you're going to find out is that most of the information out there is going to tell you that it's uncurable, or that the cure rate is only, I think 40% is what they say it is, which that couldn't be further from the truth from what we're learning. So as I said, we're going to start sharing some stuff in the coming videos in the few coming months about our journey kind of through that. In fact, I plan on doing a video with just talking about Staph aureus and how we dealt with that. But anyway, there's light at the end of the tunnel now. Long story short, we've changed up our mineral program, really focused on nutrition with the cattle, because that's what it comes down to is basically unhealthy cows, I guess you could say. Just deficiencies in their diet, in their nutrition, and so we really focused on that. We've been working with a few different people, but one guy in particular that's really helping us kind of get through and navigate this. And we obviously, those of you that don't know, we are not certified organic, don't ever care to be, but we do take a holistic approach to everything we do, and we do follow the quote-unquote organic standards, I guess you could say. So that's pretty important to us. We try to stay away from the antibiotics, all that kind of stuff, and take more of a holistic approach. So that being said, one of the big changes we also made was with our water. And so what we have here in this blue 55-gallon drum is apple cider vinegar. And so we're starting to add this into their waters, which I've already, just in a few days, I've noticed a difference. It seems like their milk production has ticked up a little bit. And what we're learning is the apple cider vinegar actually helps them break down the fiber and the nutrients, the hay in their gut. It helps with their gut biome in their stomachs, and it helps them break down and utilize more of the material that they're taking in, more of the forage they're taking in. And so that they're becoming more efficient, they're using more of the forage, and less is being passed through in their manure. So anyway, what we do is there's a formula breaking down, and formula to break this down, but our big tank for the fresh cows holds 300 gallons. And so in that tank, we put in, just under 3 gallons of apple cider vinegar in that tank. We let them drink it all the way down, and then we fill it back up and do it again. And obviously right now with the mastitis issue, we're giving more apple cider vinegar than we probably normally would, or that would be normally recommended just for a standard day-to-day ration. And then the same thing with the heifers. We're also doing the same thing with them down in the field. That's what I'm doing now. I've got to water them, take some water down, so I'm going to fill that tote up, and then in the tote I'm going to dump, that's a 500-gallon tank. So we're going to put 4 gallons in the tote, and when I take it down, and then that way we'll give them their vinegar. And then in a few of the other tanks, the smaller tanks, we got a nurse cow. She's getting a little bit of also, because she was infected as well. But it's been quite a journey with the Staph aureus, and I've gotten a lot of really bad advice and also a lot of really good advice. And like I said, in the coming months and the coming videos, I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you, because I think that's really important to share that with everybody, because it's been a nightmare for us trying to navigate and figure out, just navigate the information, because there's a lot of good information out there on the internet and on Facebook pages and YouTube and etc. But there's a lot of really bad information too. And just for example, with the Staph aureus, I had an overwhelming amount of people tell me that you got to get rid of your cows, which that wasn't an option for us. If we wouldn't have been able to navigate our way on a path to a cure for them, it would have put us out of business, because that was basically every cow we were milking at that time was infected with it. And we've gotten several healed up. We did get rid of a few cows. Those are cows that we probably would have gotten rid of down the road anyway, and we just decided to cull them from the herd a little bit early. But I am confident we probably could have healed them up too. So like I said, we're not out of the woods yet on that. Anyway, I got to get this filled up, get this bucket filled up. I need 4 gallons of this, and then we're going to grab a tote and start filling it with water and get those cows watered. Well, while that's filling, I gotta go. I'm gonna go check on that other heifer, make sure she's doing okay. Got a lot of projects going on at the farm, right now. As you can see, this the old Chevy, it's getting a new transfer case and a few other things. I gotta put a new exhaust on it and some sensors and things like that. Just getting a little love that it needs. It's not too bad today. This weather so far this winter has been, it's been okay. We've had a little bit of cold weather. There was a little bit of a cold spell there for a little bit, but all in all, for the most part, it's actually been I'd say a fairly mild winter. It finally froze though. Up until about 3 weeks ago or so, we didn't really have much frost in the ground, which allowed us to get some stuff down outside. That we've got a video coming out. We had to pour some concrete and we're putting a bulk bin up. That video is going to be coming out too, and that's the concrete slab right there that we were able to get poured. I think we poured that right before Christmas. I think it was like 3 or 4 days before Christmas, which is pretty awesome. So we've been doing a lot of work out here in the barn. From that other video, you guys, if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. But we were doing the lean-to off the side of the parlor here. We kind of doing some renovations on that. We're not quite done, just a couple things we got to finish up with that. So that video should be coming out hopefully here in the next few weeks or so. But we're making some changes here in the parlor. I'll just kind of pan around, but we got a window put in. Those of you that have been following along, there were some videos, gosh, a year and a half ago or so that we put out in here, and so you probably can't tell, but it looked quite a bit different. Maybe I'll throw some pictures up of what this looked like originally, but we're starting to get this put together pretty well. Still a lot of work to do out here, but we're making good headway. So this is just OSB that's going to be over on that side. This little pin over here, that's our nursery. That's where we bring in any of the newborns, especially in the winter. We'll bring them in, keep them in there for a few days or whatever, make sure they get their colostrum off to a good start before they go out. Even in the summer, a lot of times I'll bring them in here just so I can keep an eye on them. But that's just going to be OSB. We plan on getting all this painted white eventually, and then coming across here in front of the stanchion, this we're going to be putting some PVC board up all the way across all of this, and then taking off this metal, putting PVC board up, and doing the same thing all the way around here. So it's gonna be really nice once we get it done. The other thing is too, we're gonna insulate the ceiling. That hasn't been that big of a deal because there's hay up there right now, and when we feed out the hay, I always make sure there's one layer of bales up there just so we have insulation. But we still are going to insulate this and then cap it with some OSB. That way it's fully insulated in here, and then we can actually have our heat going. It doesn't really get below freezing in here right now, even as cold as it's been with what we've got insulated, but it still needs to get finished. So I got Daisy tied up out here right now. Hi, Daisy girl. So she had her calf about a month earlier than she was supposed to. She actually had a stillborn, which was a little frustrating. You got that halter on your eye, didn't you? Hold still. Come here. She's a little, her fight or flight, you can tell, is a little bit, it's up there. Her radar is up there. She's still a little bit timid, and but we're working with her. She's came a long ways just in the last, I think I've had her tied up for 3 or 4 days now, and man, that first day, whoo, she took me for a ride. I wish I would have had my camera going, but she's doing much better now, and she's got some hay here still. I'm gonna get her some water, make sure she's got plenty of water. But worked out real nice here in this lean-to. Like I said, we're not quite done yet. We've got a few things left to do in here, but it's nice having her right here. We use the halter obviously because the way our setup is, this isn't like a herringbone or any of those, the surge setups or any of those where they pack themselves in. When they come into our parlor, they've got to know where to go and where to put their head and that kind of stuff. And so that's the downside to it. The less efficient part is that we have to be able to get a halter on them and lead them through, and in order for them to get their heads through these stanchions and get them locked in here to milk. So she did great this morning though. We're gonna wait and see how she does tomorrow, but I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 more days. If she does real well, then we may be able to just let her go and she can be on her own then with the rest of the herd. And she's about full. Let's get this water shut off. There's Annie right there. Hey Annie, how's it going, sweetheart? So that's where we're bedding them and feeding them right now. We are bale grazing down on this on these first 2 paddocks, the lower lower pasture, or the lower paddock. We are bale grazing down there, but then we've got a grass bale up here too by the windbreak. This is our compost right here. Manure pack compost pile right here, and what I do is I make kind of a horseshoe out of it and stack it up right there, so it creates a windbreak, and then I bed them right there in the middle of it. This is that tank I was saying. It's a 300-gallon tank, and we put this gets just shy of 3 gallons of vinegar, apple cider vinegar in it. Watch out, sweet thing. Come on, watch out. We'll get you a little more. I'll be right back. So Jessie here, right here, and then Elsa, the one with her butt to us, walking away. Both of those they tested positive for staph. Those two we have successfully been able to get cured, get healed up. And then the other one was Josie, which Josie is she's over here eating. She's on the other side of the bale feeder. But those three we have successfully cured, gotten negative tests for, I don't even know, quite a while now. So they're good to go. We got a couple more that we're working on. We got Annie, Karma with her butt to us, Mel over there, and then Zelda, which Zelda we're using as a nurse cow. She's over in the other lot over there with a couple calves on her. This is where we're feeding our round bale right now, just over the hill, over that terrace. On that lower paddock here is where we're bale grazing. And what I mean by bale grazing is we're laying our square bales out every morning. I just break them, just break the twine and throw them out on the ground, and then let them eat them right off the ground. That way, whatever they waste stays down in the field, and then every day I move to a different spot. So I'm basically working my way across the field. When I get to the other side, I come back over here, start again, work my way across the pasture, same thing all the way down. So anyway, this is, like I said, where I'm bedding them, and then I've kind of created almost a horseshoe here that that they're laying inside of. And this is just to give you an idea. Almost, you probably can't, camera won't pick it up, but that's the towers of downtown Omaha. So west, that's west, due west that way, and so north is up this way. So this is kind of a northwest curve, or excuse me, northwest windbreak, what we got here. And then obviously across here, the railroad tracks, the trees, that cuts the wind a little bit. We don't get as much wind from the south or the east. It's mostly the north and west winds, so that does make a difference. They really like it. Obviously, when the temperatures get really cold, if we see anything like we did last year where it got to, I think, 50 below wind chills, if that's the case, we bring them right up here, and with that lean-to, we'll use that in the barn. And then also I stack some hay bales up if they need to for a windbreak, and make sure they got deep bedding and all that kind of stuff. Number 44, that's Sweetie. She's one of them that just had her calf. She had her calf actually on Lakota's birthday, December 22nd. Nice little surprise. Again, she was like a month early, but she did great. Had her calf on her own. In fact, I'll put the video in here so you guys can see it. She's a good mom too, and she's so far her lactation's going well. We're calf sharing at the moment with all of these guys, just because we're still working through some things. So right now we're milking once a day, just in the morning, and we're calf sharing with the ones that have calves on them. I think she's going to turn out to be a really nice cow. Same with this one over here, Bella, with her butt to us, the light colored tan. She had her calf right here, this little bull calf. She had him Christmas Day, and everything went great. She had him on her own, and I walked out. I think I was probably maybe a minute late. She had just pushed him out right before I got into the barn. But again, she had him by herself. Everything went fine. She was early, but that's no big deal. We're okay with that. And as far as these two go with training, we had them. Those two we really didn't have to put halters on. I take that back. Bella, we had to put a halter on. She's just now starting to put her head through the stanchion on her own. But their temperament's great, very mild, and they would both come into the parlor. Annie kind of figured out a lot faster getting her head through the stanchion, and she did it on her own fairly quickly. Bella, when she would come in, she would just stand there and be stubborn, and so I'd have to throw a halter on her and then get her up there and push her through. But this morning, I think was the first morning she actually went up and put her head through the stanchion on her own. Over here we got Zelda. We're using her as a nurse cow at the moment. She's got her own calf on her, and then she also has Jesse's calf on her too, both little bull calves. I love this cow. She's one of my favorite cows. Very mild mannered. She's a nice cow. She produces pretty decent as far as milk goes. She's a great mom, and she works great for a nurse cow too, because she'll let about any calf nurse on her. These guys we're going to keep back. We'll cut them, and then we'll raise these guys for beef. Same with these other two bull calves over here. We're going to raise them up for beef. Well, we got to get the 450 started here, so let's do a little cold start on the old girl, huh? This tank heater's working pretty good. I got to get it cleaned out though. It's starting to get kind of full of ash. And I still haven't got my other piece put on. I got to get the other air pipe put on. Maybe I'll do that this spring or summer or something. But anyway, it still works good. I'm happy with it. So for all the heifers and then any dry cows, what we're doing for the winter is I'm just letting them have the entire farm. Everything else, like I said, this first hillside, those two paddocks, those are for the fresh cows. Everything else I've got opened up, and the heifers and the dry cows they've pretty much eaten almost everything down. They're working right now on this northern facing hillside right here. Once they should have that eaten down pretty soon though. But I've got their bales I've got a couple bales, an alfalfa bale from first cutting, and then I've got a grass bale for them also just over the hill here down in the horseshoe on one of those hillsides. So they got plenty of forage between that and what's left out here. So across this hillside, this is what I was talking about, right below that terrace. This is where we're bale grazing. So right now we're feeding 4 square bales a day along with the other grass bale that they have for free choice. But what I do is I go down here and I dump off the 4 bales and I spread them out and then break the string and let them eat. And I've went across the top once, and then I'm coming back on a second round, and I'll do this 3 or 4 times down the hillside. That works great in my opinion. It spreads out the manure, and they waste a ton of hay, whether it's on the ground or it's in the feeder. It doesn't matter. They're going to waste hay. I shouldn't say a ton, but they waste a fair amount. But with that alfalfa too, we're feeding a combination of 4th cutting, that really green stuff that we got. They get 2 bales of that, and then the other 2 bales they get are a mixture of 2nd and 3rd cutting. that's going to do it for this one, guys. Pretty simple video. I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in on a few things, update you on some stuff, let you know where we've been the last year, why we hadn't posted. Just busy. Takes time. Getting these videos out takes a lot of time. Just to give you an idea, I usually film anywhere from hour and 45 minutes all the way up to 4 hours worth of video just to make a 15-25 minute video, and then it takes me another probably three to 4 hours typically to edit the video. So it takes time. I enjoy doing it, but sometimes it's hard to fit them in, but I'm going to do the best I can to kind of keep things going here and keep you guys updated. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of projects going on. Moving back and forth from one project to the next. Anyway, like always, we appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much for the likes, the comments, all that kind of stuff. And anybody out there that has, I'm sure there's some dairy folks that follow this channel, and anybody out there that has dealt with Staph aureus or any kind of mastitis, any kind of illness, any of that stuff with your cattle, with your dairy cows, leave a comment. Let me know kind of what you dealt with and what it was. I would love to hear the story. Hopefully it's a good ending, bad ending, whatever. I'd still like to hear it. But just leave a comment and let me know what you dealt with and kind of how you handled it and what the situation was. I'd be real interested to know. So anyway, guys, thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're starting to get more active again on those platforms as well. So I hope you guys had a great holiday season. Hope you guys are enjoying the new year so far. You guys take care. We'll see you in the next one.